this show to me is very. It feels comforting in a lot of ways, but I think it taps into things like nostalgia, maybe nostalgia. Wistful probably isn't the right word, but that kind of feeling when you watch it, even when they're like when they're sitting around the fire and they're just kind of remembering parts of their lives. Like when I sit in front of a fire, have you ever sat and stared at a bonfire? Like
that's what. It does that to you.
Yeah,
right?
It makes you kind of just think and just be a little more like thoughtful. You know. This is Geek Off the Street, your go-to channel for all things from obscure geekdom to modern-day pop culture and everything else in between. What's up, everybody?
Hello. Here we go.
We're back.
Yeah, we are.
As we always are.
As we always are.
Yes, because I'm always Trent.
And I am always Mark.
And this is always
Geek Off the Street.
The greatest podcast of all time. Talk about geek culture, pop culture, whatever else we want. Deal with it. This week is no exception.
Amen.
Because we're coming back to a series that we covered.
Yeah, we are.
A little bit of. Where this is the tail end of it.
Yes.
Yeah. We're talking about Frieren, Beyond Journey's End.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be covering episode 13 to 28.
Right.
Because we stopped at a very weird position. We covered it at a weird spot.
Yeah. It seemed like where we did it before was episode 1 through 12. So I think that's where it was supposed to.
That's what we
thought it was going to end. But they kept on trucking.
Kept going.
So good on them.
But yeah, so we're going to get into that in a second. But we gotta talk about this drink that we made.
Talk about this drink.
Yeah.
It is fantastic.
Well, originally it's a pomegranate dragon cocktail.
Right.
But we had to change a piece of the ingredients because we couldn't find the right thing. And actually, I think it came out better.
We found a better thing.
Yeah, this is we're calling it the
pomegranate red dragon
cocktail. Exactly. And it has basically pomegranate juice, raspberry mead. That's the secret one.
Right.
Raspberry mead, a bit of simple syrup, and gin. Yeah. This is a great drink.
Yeah.
Really good.
It's very fruity. It's not too sweet. A small amount of tartness in it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, between the pomegranate juice and that raspberry, with the raspberry mead, they blend together perfectly. Perfectly. So you're getting those flavors in there 100%. Mm-hmm. And then there's, in the tail end of it, there's a little bit of the gin.
Yeah, a little bit of gin. Yeah.
Not strong at all though. Not overpowering.
Yeah, perfectly tart, sweet, all of it. It has all the perfect balances, all the things you want in a cocktail. And I think this is delicious. Zoe, try this one. This is very good. Yeah.
This is very good. Very good. Mm-hmm. Yeah, watch that clip on how to make it.
Yeah. We didn't get the name right then, though. So remember, refer to this as the name of that cocktail.
If you want the name.
Right. The actual name. So anyway, before we get into Frieren, there's a couple of shout outs I got to make.
Do it.
One of the big ones is I've been talking to Need to Watch. It's a new YouTube channel.
Okay.
The gentleman that runs the channel, his name is... Man, I should have prepared this before. Oh man, sorry. Anyway, he has a channel called Need to Watch, and he basically talks about, it's like a video game content channel, obviously. Nice. But Andrew Hernandez, his name is Andrew Hernandez, and he runs this channel. But so he had reached out to us, added us, and we were cool. And he basically was just praising our content, but he mentioned that he is really into understanding the analytics of YouTube, understanding how to grow truly and properly and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. And he has a new channel. He's been kind of implementing those kind of things into his channel, and it's already kind of doing well.
Nice.
At the beginning. So he had basically said, "Hey, well, your guys' show is awesome. You guys really have some magic on this show." And I was like, "Thanks, dude." And then just yesterday, he reached out and said, "Hey, if you don't mind, a couple of suggestions." And he gave me this huge breakdown of things that he thinks could improve the channel. As far
a
as
couple of suggestions. Yeah. Here's a list.
Yeah, he's like, this is totally unsolicited, so just
don't
even take it if you don't need to, man. It's totally cool. But and the first thing I said was get bent.
Naturally.
But I was like, I'm just kidding, dude. I was literally, because I was thinking about literally messaging him and asking, hey man, what do you think are things that we need to improve on our channel, because we're having trouble with the growth part. And I was like, it's funny that you asked, because I was going to ask you the same thing. So he basically he's like, he gave me all this information about thumbnails and and like what all these different things mean. I was like, I don't even know what you're talking about right now. Do you don't know what that stuff means?
Cool.
And so he did a bunch of that. He gave me like a playlist of like YouTube videos that he's watched that helped him. And they just gave me he like slapped together a thumbnail. I was like, this is what I think a good thumbnail will look for you guys. And he just made one. And I was like, how'd you do that, man? So he was just he was literally like really helping me out, man. I was like, dude, you are the man. And he was just like, well, there are people that help me out. Yeah. And I don't want to pass the buck. I was like, thank you, man. Like, that's cool. So super huge shout. Nice. Check out Need to Watch. It's like his show's awesome, but man, super nice guy. Really, really trying to help us out, and that's I love it. That's kind of unheard of.
Cool. Like. Thanks, man. That's very cool.
Definitely. Another shout out to. I mean, that's it, actually.
Yeah, I'll give a quick shout out to one, just in general, anybody that's out there that's creating anything, producing anything, whether it's stories, whether it's music, whatever it may be. Don't give up. Keep plugging away at it. If you enjoy it, that's, if it brings you joy, that's the beautiful thing with it. You know what I mean? If you can make something of it, even better. But pursue that. So one quick shout I want to give out to my friend at Cougar Shadow Press. That's what it is. If anyone out there is into any kind of role playing or anything like that, especially if it's in like a D&D / Pathfinder kind of world, you know what I'm talking about. If that makes sense to you, you're listening right now. You will be interested in this. Otherwise, just keep listening anyway. But
I was like, I'm gonna tune out for the next
for the next 1 minute or so. 5 seconds.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's content that is for role playing that is brand new. That my friend Chris, he wrote it himself. So he wrote like different pantheons, different classes and all that kind of stuff. Nice. So if you're interested in playing, if you are playing those kind of games, there's a whole brand new thing that you can bring into your world, into your game that, your other players may not know about. That might be something new and exciting for you to travel down. But it's you want to go to, see, now I'm not ready. I can't remember the name. It's like Drive Through RPG is the website you want to go to Drive Through RPG. And look for Cougar Shadow Press LLC, and go from there, and then you'll see all the different stories that he came up with. He worked on the Zodiac for us.
Oh, he's on that.
He's the one that did it. Yeah, nice. I've talked to you about him before. Very creative guy. I've known him for a long time, but he's got a huge imagination. Very smart guy, probably one of the smartest people I know. So check that out. Good on him. Another quick shout out. This is someone that is actually CJ's friend that's been on the show before, and I've known him since he was a little lad. Now he's grown up and doing his own thing. He's got his own podcast called MCMF. I've talked to you before about having him on the show. His name is Marcus.
Is he the other friend?
He's exactly.
The Three Amigos here? He's the other friend. He's the comic book guy.
Exactly. Yeah. The massive comic book guy. Like I said, if you and RJ and him sat in a room together, it would be nuts.
Just be comic book
with the comic book knowledge.
All over the place. Yeah.
Yeah, but he probably has more knowledge than anybody I've come across in general when it comes to especially with DC. Well, DC, Marvel, I think everything. I think he reads the independent stuff too. But his podcast, I believe, is called MCMF. More Comics Than a Motherfucker is the title of it. It's hilarious.
When did he start it?
I want to say I don't even think it's been a year. I don't think it's been that long.
Okay.
But he really goes, he does it in a very fun way. It's very casual. And he'll have guests on the show too. It's only, I think it's on Spotify, probably Apple Music and all that kind of stuff. And the shows they're pretty long.
Okay.
But he goes, like I said, he goes really in depth with what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Like I said, they do it in a very light way. It's very casual. But just the stuff that he talks about, like I said, and the show lasts for, like I said, I'm looking at some of the times, and he's got some long times on there. It's like 3 hours that they're talking about this stuff. So I'm like, yeah, but if you are a serious comic book junkie, like if you are just a complete nerd about it, then, or a geek, then you would probably be entertained by the show. You know what I mean? If you're really into something, you can listen to somebody, talk about it for hours and you're going to enjoy it.
Nice.
That's what you're into.
MCMF pod, that's it, right?
That's it.
Gotta check it out.
Yeah, the title sequence is funny because I don't know where it came from, what movie, or what show, but yeah, it's just some little kid saying, "Man, he's got more comics than a motherfucker."
That was pretty good.
And yeah, his knowledge with comics is, he would be hard to stump.
Nice.
So. Yeah, so Marcus, get on you, man.
Great dude to have a conversation with. I'd like to talk to him sometime.
One day. Yeah, because I
cool.
think when Ian was down here, I think they were trying to get Marcus down here too.
Yeah.
To get him back together, but Marcus couldn't make it down for whatever reason.
Yeah, I spoke to him like briefly for maybe like a minute or 2 minutes on that FaceTime call. We had like a very, very short conversation, but he seemed like a cool dude though. So yeah, for sure gonna check out the show. I'm gonna add this to to my stuff to listen to.
Yeah.
I got a couple more shouts actually.
Yes.
Real quick to up in Seattle, the Soul XP. He's one of the people that followed us from the Burger Soul.
I was going to say, is this the
campaign.
Burger Soul?
Quite a few people have followed us from the Burger Soul campaign.
Yeah, the Burger Soul.
Yeah, so
people must love
they
that guy.
jumped on. Yeah, they loved him.
Come on down to Cali, man. Jeez.
Right? Yeah. No, they jumped on this man, but he. So this guy, he's trying to be a motivational, or he's trying to be a kind of motivational speaker type person, type thing. He's trying to get into that. But yeah, so he talked a little bit with us, and he seemed like a pretty cool guy.
Yeah.
He said if we're ever in Washington, he'll show us around. But he's been listening to the podcast, appreciates our chemistry, and he thinks our show's great. So
wow. Thanks, man.
Thanks, appreciate it, man. Thanks for reaching out. And then also I had to make a correction. The signing for Wilbur McKesson.
Yes.
That is happening. Same day, same place that I was saying.
Okay.
But here's where I screwed up. He's not signing his new book. He's signing his old book because it's in May. The new book doesn't come out until June.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, so you can't get a copy of his new book at that signing because it's not out yet.
Right on.
So the only way to get a copy of that book is to win it from a competition.
Yeah.
Until June, I think it's June 12th.
Yeah, but if you won it and then you happen to walk up there, I'm sure he would sign it. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, true. But he's having his first book insertion, which is also a good book.
Yeah.
He's having that at the signing at Barnes & Noble. So yeah, make sure you guys do that.
Yeah, man, I'm so looking forward to that. Oh, my stars and garters. I'm so looking forward to that.
Cool. All right, let's get it then. Let's get into the show then. Let's get into this effing show. So like we were saying, we covered Frieren Beyond Journey's End a couple, maybe 3 or 4 months ago. 3 to 4 months ago.
It was in December,
Yeah. And we talked a little bit about it then, but for a quick refresher, the series is about this elf mage that basically saved the world from the Demon King with her 3 other party members.
Yes.
But as an elf, she never aged.
Right.
And along the way, her old party members ruled and passed away. Or one's still alive, the dwarf.
The dwarf's still alive, yeah.
But the other 2, the priest and the
they were humans.
Humans, yeah, they both passed away, and it left her kind of thinking maybe she should have spent more time appreciating the people that were in her life.
Yeah.
At that time, that short period of her life.
Yeah.
But their whole lives, and a lot of the show is about her reflecting on those moments and applying it to where she is now in life.
Yeah. And it's kind of cool actually, to think about an immortal dealing with mortality. You know what I mean? Like that's what's really going on there. And it feels like she's in a better place now than when the show first started. She seemed like she was, really kind of, I don't want to say depressed, but I guess would say in a sense depressed. She's very, she kind of plays it close to the chest. She's not an emotional person. It seems like elves in this world are not emotional beings. Yeah. So it's, like I said, it's cool to see her navigating that. And it's, I guess one thing that you could do as a viewer is, look at it from that perspective of what do you do when you lose friends? Should you, how do you treat the people in your life right now? Yeah. Because they're not always going to be there. You may not be immortal, but you are going to have to say goodbye to some of your friends and family at some point in time,
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And all you have are those memories to reflect on,
Yeah.
And a lot of what Frieren is doing is kind of making it right in some ways, like making like this time around, because she's with a new party now,
Yeah.
sort of, and they remind her a lot of her old party, you know,
Yeah.
of her old friends, and so she's been kind of applying some of the things that she learned from that to this, you know, and maybe doing it a little better this time around.
Yes,
And,
definitely.
yeah, and then the that's basically the whole premise of the show. There's not really a crazy big storyline or even really a big conflict, but it's just more about that
Yeah.
part of the story, about that part of her life, you know.
Right.
And I will say, just get right into positives, that in and of itself is very interesting to me. I think the show, I know I say a lot about like these action animes and stuff that haven't really been catching my attention that
Sure.
well. And this show isn't like flashy in most ways. There's no crazy story. There's nothing like that.
Yeah.
But this show has an undeniable charm to it when it comes to the way they're building these characters.
Yeah.
And showing their relationship to each other and their relationship to the past.
Right.
This show to me is very, it feels comforting in a lot of ways, but I think it taps into things like nostalgia, maybe nostalgia. Wistful probably isn't the right word, but that kind of feeling when you watch it, even when they're like when they're sitting around the fire and they're just kind of remembering parts of their lives. Like when I sit in front of a fire, have you ever sat and stared at a bonfire? Like,
yeah, that's
just,
what. Yeah, it does that to you.
Yeah,
right?
It makes you kind of just think and just be a little more like thoughtful. You know?
Yeah, it's like that caveman DNA. Like it reaches into something
right
that's like ingrained in humanity, ingrained in people, like on a like in your DNA.
Right.
That's what you do with the bonfire. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now this whole anime feels like that feeling to me.
Yeah.
That's what I got out of it. And so it's not like exciting or it's not anything like that, but like it makes you feel thoughtful.
Yeah.
About and it kind of like gives you a certain presence of mind where you are, and kind of like that kind of feeling. And so I don't know how it does it, but it does it really well. It does that very well, and that's what makes the show. I think the show's so good is just because of that aspect. There are cool things like obviously the magic and I actually kind of enjoyed the magic exam that they went through, especially with that other elf or whatever that mage was, Siri or whatever, something like that.
I want to say like it made me think of it's not sensei, it's not
it was very
sensei or
something. Yeah, it was actually like
Sensei?
Something, yeah.
Yeah, it sounds a lot like sensei. Or
that's what I thought they were saying
at
the beginning, but it wasn't that. It wasn't quite
Sensa?
exactly that.
Something like that?
Sensa, yeah. Like that. Yeah, there you go. Sensa, yeah. Those moments were pretty cool. I enjoyed that whole arc of the magic test and stuff. But I think overall the feeling that you get from this show is what is engaging about it.
Right.
And why I think people enjoy it so much. I'm not sure how the light novel or the manga, whatever it was first, how that comes.
I think
across
it was a manga, I guess. Yeah.
I'm not sure if they can tap into it like that, because there's no music, there's no flash.
Right. Yeah. Even, the music does that too. It's all like this simple little, like, I don't want to say like a fiddle, like you picture like this, like a bard playing his lute kind of thing.
Exactly. Yeah. And it has a lot of that, but I don't know. It really makes you think about your own life a lot, think about like things like your past and that kind of stuff, and your relations with people. And I think the show it really taps into humanity like that, and I think that's what's successful about it. It's kind of a weird feeling to get from a show like that, but it definitely does that, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely has a very kind of a slow kind of just leisurely pace to it. You know what I mean? Because they're walking everywhere they need to go, and they'll get in a town and they'll walk around in the town, and it's very casual. There's no like, oh, we need to hurry up and get over here. There's no race to do A, B, and C. So that casualness, I think, kind of lends to thoughtfulness. You know? But I get the whole thing about the comforting aspect of it too. I think Frieren's character kind of does that. She's very she's, I guess, unconfrontational, I suppose.
Oh, yeah.
So I feel like having a character like that makes it easier for the audience to relate to or to imagine themselves in a sense interacting with.
I see. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like sometimes you'll, without even maybe thinking about it, you'll realize if someone's really harsh and abrasive, then you may not want to hang out with them kind of thing or talk to them kind of thing. So she's very easygoing. Everybody in their little troop is very easygoing. And I think, and again, that's another part of it too, is the supporting characters are, pretty likable.
Yeah.
Man, what's the warrior's name?
Stark.
Thank you. Yeah, I was going to say
X.
Scotch. That's something with an S. Yeah, Stark is pretty likable. He's pretty, on some levels, he's kind of generic. He does have some good moments, but on some level, he's, kind of, the generic guy. He's not a bad guy. He's not like all pervy or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I think it's the supporting characters are helpful. That helps with that feeling as well because they all get along. Even when they don't get along, they never really like fight.
Yeah.
It's always like a misunderstanding of some kind or whatever.
Yeah.
That, they rub each other the wrong way, but you can tell they're friends, they get along with each other. And that's the kind of environment that you feel comfortable being in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and it's interesting too, because I was talking with CJ a couple days ago regarding we were talking about solo leveling. And one of the things that he brought up about the show, solo leveling, which is the opposite of this one, is in solo leveling, the main character, this is the point that he brought up, which I think is probably true actually, is we really connect or, in a sense with the main character, or we see everything through the main character's eyes. We don't really necessarily quote unquote care too much about any of the, ancillary characters or any other, the other characters, because the only one that we really spending time with is
Jinwoo.
Yeah, Jinwoo, the main character. So it was interesting, that show, you probably will only care about the main character. If you care about anybody, you're only going to care about the main character because there's nobody else to really care about.
Yeah.
In Frieren, it's the opposite. That you do have other characters to care about. It's not just Frieren herself. It's the party that she's with. It's the past party that she's with. We're only seeing past glimpses of them. And we saw a lot more of them in those first 12 episodes.
Yeah.
Now we see a lot more of Himmel. Himmel.
Himmel the hero. Yeah.
Himmel the hero. Yeah. We see a lot more of him and the reason why he helps people and the reason why he's all about going into towns and, doing blah, blah, blah. We see more of that. So it's again, it's the characters that are around Frieren as well, make it a comforting world / a comforting show.
Yeah.
To watch. So no, I get that. I wouldn't have said that, but it makes sense. I get it.
Yeah, definitely. No, that's a good point about the characters too. I think Stark was the most generic. I liked him more in the first arc when he was like this scaredy cat that was super powerful. That was a very good contradiction. Yeah, very good way to tell a character with a strength and a flaw, an opposing flaw.
Yeah, we don't see him do that much more in this.
Yeah, it wasn't like that at all. I feel like in this one, if you were to not have watched the first parts, you wouldn't have even known that was a part of his character. Yeah, but I think interactions though with Fern and that kind of stuff, I think it works pretty well overall. Let's see. What else to talk about this show? Anything you liked about the show?
Let's see. I liked, the one weird is I liked when they picked up the healer, the priest.
The priest, yeah.
Yeah, I liked when they picked him up. I was hoping he was going to be in the show more.
Yeah, he wasn't in it very long at all.
Yeah, a few episodes. He kind of traveled with them until he had to go his own way. But I did like that character. I like that. I like that missed opportunity thing that he regretted, that he was always looking back on, kind of thing.
So relatable, man.
So relatable. Like, who does not have that feeling at some point? And the older you get, the greater the chances are you have had that feeling or you are going to have that feeling. It's one of the things about life that sucks.
Yeah.
But I love that. And then even when he got an opportunity to leave, he still didn't. He still didn't want to go. And it's like, man, I mean, you're getting an opportunity handed to you, but And then they have their reasons, or he has his reasons, in the show. But it's interesting that an opportunity came along, and the first time he had an opportunity, he didn't take it. And then the second time an opportunity came along, he was still hesitant to take it.
Yeah.
And again, I feel like that is a part of human nature as well, too. Like when that opportunity might present itself again, or a chance presents itself again, you start to, maybe talk yourself out of it for, whatever the reasons may be that you may have. And it's just another, ship that's sailed kind of thing. And it's, the more that happens, like, it's just, it's terrible. It's terrible. The more time that goes by. So I did like his character. I like that he wanted to be like I don't know, he kind of got drafted into being a mediator amongst them. Because they're all a bunch of kids. And, Frieren's not a kid. I mean, she's, one of the oldest people in this world. But her mentality is so kind of, I guess, basic, I suppose, or simple. She leads a very simple life. She just likes collecting magic and learning all kinds of magic. Whether it's a powerful spell that can, like, blow up a mountain, or whether it's a spell to clean dishes. Like, she just likes collecting magic, and she can't resist it. Her and the mimics, the treasure chest, like, she couldn't resist it. And then it's funny too, because like Fern says, I cast a spell. That's not a treasure chest, it's a mimic. And it's just like, well, that spell's only 99% accurate. So like,
I've been doing this for a long time.
It's only 99% accurate. Like, what are you talking about right now? You still want to go for it?
It's like, my experience tells me there's a grimoire in here.
Yeah, right. Like, the thing she covets the most is in there. Like, not a treasure, not a crown, not a sword.
No, it's
like
the
thing,
a
grimoire's in there. I'm like, oh Lord. And sure enough, she's getting eaten by the.
Like, for 2 seconds, I was like, oh yeah, well, she has experience. Maybe she's right. And then, like, I was like, why would I think that? Like, I already knew you were wrong.
The fact that Fern said, like, I cast a spell on the thing.
It's not.
It is a mimic. 99% sure. The spell is, and then she's like, the spell's only 99% accurate. I'm like, what are you talking about right now? What are you after?
Yeah.
But that was enough for her to risk it. Not that she was in any real danger, but
it's funny. It is funny though. It's goofy. And it happens again.
All the time whenever there's a chest.
Right. Yeah. So that was and that was all part of that charm. Like, it was funny to me. Like, they really played that. I think it maybe helps with the overall tone of the show. These kind of silly moments happen. I kind of like, I always laughed when Fern would make that face when she was mad.
That pouty face
with the one, like, tongue in the side of the cheek kind of thing, or whatever. I was like, at first I was like, what is wrong with her face? And then I realized that was her angry face. And it happened so many times. I laughed more and more when I saw it. I was like, oh, again? She's mad about something stupid again?
It's always something stupid.
But I did like Fern's growth a lot too, though. Like, she really has, like, if you're following from when
you first see her as a kid,
as a little girl, that really didn't seem like she was gonna be strong as a magician at all. To where she is now. Really, there's a lot of growth, and you see that she really is gifted and really, but worked hard as well.
Right.
And it paid off. That was kind of cool to see her all the way to when she has a conversation with Sensa.
Sense.
That's
how you say her name.
At the very end. But also remembering, like, keeping her composure and staying the same all the way through. Even to the point where she's like, "What spell did you ask for?" Spell to clean my clothes. Like, of all the spells.
Right. Of all the spells. Right.
Spells,
Immortality? No.
Right.
Bring someone back from the dead? No. I want to clean clothes.
But that's a part of the innocence to it, though, too. Like, even with, like, and that's how you know she respects her master, Frieren, and she's learned from her. You know what I mean?
They're that's not their goal. They're not after like,
power or whatever that is.
Phenomenal cosmic power. Itty bitty living
Yeah.
space.
Yeah.
That's my Aladdin.
Oh, got it. Okay, that's what I was like. I think
Remember, phenomenal cosmic power. Itty bitty living space.
Okay. I was like, where's that from?
Go watch Aladdin, everybody.
Yeah. Let's see. Any positive yet, or?
I did like Sensa or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm really curious what's gonna happen because they're the only two elves. She's like the master of like the magic guild thing or whatever. And like Frieren, I'm curious like how their relationship is not a good one.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm wondering if that's going to come to a head at some point. Like it
Yeah.
feels like they're going to have to duke it out, but it also feels like neither one of them cares to duke it out with the other one. Like they feel like they've got nothing to prove to each other.
Right, yeah.
Which makes sense because they're both like, 1,000+ years old. So they don't really care about that. But Frieren is clearly her in a, I don't know, not necessarily like a magical sense, but just in a, a whatever kind of sense, her subordinate or,
Oh, yeah.
because she met Frieren when Frieren was a kid. Frieren was still like a young elf.
Yeah.
And that's when the master Sensa, first met her or whatever.
Yeah.
So
met Frieren and through Frieren's master, right?
Yeah, Flom or whatever.
Yeah. The redhead, that's all I remember.
The redhead, yeah. I know her name is spelled like flame with 2 M's. So I'm like, Flom.
Gotcha.
I think they pronounce it Flom.
Okay.
I think.
But yeah, it was interesting. She was disappointed with both of them. She's disappointed with her obviously very powerful pupil,
right?
That decided not to really,
not to follow her path or whatever she wanted to do. But clearly one of her better pupils. Yeah, and then Frieren she may be the strongest mage out there. She may be stronger than Sensa, or whatever her name is.
Yeah, possibly, yeah. But I did like it about that. Was like, at first she's like, oh, who's this? She's like a villain. Like she's failing Frieren automatically. She's obviously biased about it. But then even Frieren's like her intuition's never wrong. Sense of intuition's never wrong. So whatever she decides is right. Yeah, kind of thing. And you get that sense when she's going through the other magicians and testing them. Yeah,
that was gonna be the thing that I like too. Like that, I like that because her intuition is so powerful. It is so strong. When these magicians came up and she was like, fail. Yeah. And then like someone that she's a little interested in, she starts talking to. It made sense because as we're watching these other magicians, it's like when a lot of them make it through to the end. Yeah. But you're kind of thinking too, like, is that person really ready to become like this first class mage kind of thing? Yeah. So the ones that she was like, fail. I was like, okay, I get that. I would probably do. I think that person's not ready either, kind of thing. So there were some that that she just said right out of the gate no, and other ones that she was like, okay, you're interesting. Yeah. I'm going to put you through.
Yeah, I did like that Werble guy. Yeah, I liked his answer. He's like, I don't like or dislike any spell.
Oh yeah,
it's a tool for killing.
Yeah,
but then at the same time, though, you see he has humanity as well. He doesn't kill needlessly. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Even as the general or whatever the leader.
Right. He definitely tries not to.
Yeah, which he was a cool character. I wanted to know more at him. And then even that one, I forgot her name, but the one that was just a murderer.
Oh, Ubel or something like that, or
Ubel?
Something UBEL.
Green-haired one, right? Yeah. Ubel. I think. Yeah, she was interesting too, man.
Yeah,
I thought she's crazy.
And the fact that even that first class mage was like, I would have a hard time with her. Yeah, I would have a hard time fighting her.
Yeah.
And her power set was pretty. It was. I mean, the way, like the power that she had was interesting, but the way she used that power was interesting too. It's like you got the whole empathy thing. That's interesting.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Pretty. So that was the thing about the show is that like. It would surprise you like that. You think, okay, we're just watching this kind of slice of life, kind of feel good.
Yeah, you just medieval slice of life. That's how I was gonna peg this show. Right.
But then it will surprise you with these moments with these different mages or these different stories. Yeah. I mean, like micro stories within the show that was like, oh, that's actually really cool. That's awesome. And I even like when you get to kind of realize that like, or they're like, oh, like Fern and Frieren, they only use basic magic. Typically, they basic attacks, basic defense. Yeah, but
they do it so well.
Yeah, so well, and the volume of it. Yeah, like you can't stop it.
Right, and everyone else is doing like these tricks, super like I'm going to use the earth to do whatever. Right, I'm going to use water. I'm going to use super speed. I'm going to do A, B, and C to do all this different kind of stuff. and they are just doing basic stuff. Here's an attack, and I got defense.
Yeah.
And they've mastered that almost like Rock Lee, just learning, just mastering the basics and taking it to like, and just dialing it up to 11.
Exactly.
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that was cool to see that. Yeah, I like that a lot.
It's a cool concept,
right?
You know? And it jived well, because I know when they went to take this whole magic test, I'm like, oh, here we go again, like another, you know, you got to take a test. There's always like a test of some kind. I feel like in anime, especially shonen, there's always some sort of, you know, test or competition that people go through. Just so they can, I guess they can fight each other, and they can do like a big magic battle or whatever kind of battle it may be. And, you know, necessarily, I don't say no one gets hurt, but I feel like that's always a thing. I think the way they did in this, it worked very well, because once I started watching it, I was like, okay, this is actually pretty good.
Yeah.
And it didn't involve them like trying to beat each other, you know, which typically at some point there was a bit of a competition, but technically they really weren't in competition with each other. They weren't doing like a, you know, like a Chunin exam kind of thing, which I feel like everybody has copied or whatever. So they did a good job with it. They did a good job with that competition. It was, it held my attention.
Yeah, same. Yeah. And that was like the last thing I wanted to say about it, was that I think I was waiting to get bored of this show. Like I was waiting for the moment where, oh, it's going to drag on a little bit, or I'm going to get tired of it, or this is going to be enough to keep my interest. But I don't think there was a moment where I was just like, all right, let's get through this part. Like I think I was just okay with it, because I was either comforted or feeling like nostalgic or thoughtful, or there was these cool parts like the magician exam. Like it was, there's just enough to, I don't know, like their magic, so simple,
right,
but engaging, like keeping your attention, and it wasn't getting boring at all. Like it really, I don't know, they have something here for sure. They have something special, I think, with this anime. Yeah,
I concur.
Any other positives for negatives? Or?
Wow, actually, you know what? As far as negatives are concerned, I really don't think I have too many.
Dude, I was gonna say the same thing, man.
Yeah,
I'm actually trying to think.
I'm trying to make up something. Frieren's name is weird.
Yeah.
Take that, show.
Yeah.
I was binging the show, right? So I was like power watching a lot of it. Yeah. And I found myself like nodding out and having to rewind it, and like that's the worst.
Right.
But I think it's not because the show was necessarily bad. I think it definitely picked up around episode like 18, 19, because that's when the exam starts to kick off. But otherwise it's not bad at all. I can't think of anything. I really can't think of too much negative to say about it. I'm sure there's something, you know, I don't know, like doing like your stereotypical shonen manga. I don't know. I can't think of anything right now. I'm sure it's in there somewhere. But yeah, it was pretty cool, actually. I can't think of too much bad to say. Can you think of anything? I think the show like does what it's supposed to do, and you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not really trying to do anything outside of what it's trying to do, right? Yeah. I think I'm struggling with any negatives.
I mean, the comedy that's in there, there's not like a whole ton of it. And it might be one of those things like, you know, you can't watch it with an American mindset. You know, you got to watch it. You know, it is a foreign property kind of thing. But I think the comedy in there it does what it's supposed to do. I think maybe that's one thing I might maybe say is it did feel a little like, you know, shonen manga kind of thing. Like when they were angry at each other or mad at each other, I feel like it's kind of there just because. Like there's no reason why you guys couldn't have just, you know, explained or said something and this would have been resolved in like one or two sentences. Yeah. But now you're pouting and you're going your separate ways. I think there was a part where I think it was when Stark, like he said he touched her cheek. Oh yeah. You know, and she was mad about it, and it was like, and he said he was sorry, or he knew he was sorry for whatever he did. And she was still pouting about it, and like I mean, that's just something that can be resolved really simply, kind of thing. I feel like you're just kind of exaggerating it. Yeah,
because it's an anime.
Yeah, because because it's an anime. So there's that aspect to it, I suppose. But
that's true.
Other than that, though,
I mean, I guess I could say that maybe my how are they going to resolve this show is the thing.
Where it's going to go.
If there's not really a story per se, and there's not really a specific focus or a through line.
Yeah.
Like what will how will they end the show? Like,
right.
Is my thing.
Because there's no big bad to fight. Not really. I mean, the demons are out there, which again, I mean, I hope they get into those guys because those guys were really interesting.
Awesome. Yeah. Yeah. And I know they're traveling to a specific place. Yeah. Right.
The northern lands.
Yeah, the northern, something to do with like the heaven or something that kind of thing. Right? They're trying to get to that, which is still kind of unclear about what's going on there. But I think my thing is about this show is that I mean, if they're doing another 28 episodes, I don't know what the next season's going to be. I'm not sure how long it's going to be or when it's going to come out. But are they going to stick to just this same kind of just happenstance? We're going to this and this something cool is going to happen here,
and thinking about life along the way,
and then it's not, and then it's just going to kind of end. Like that might be problematic. I think there has to be kind of a focus. I'm sure at some point, maybe Frieren has to die or deal with mortality again in some way, or
with her friends,
with her new friends, and or I don't know.
And what if it happens all over again? What if it the story ends with them being old? Yeah, and then she's got to move on to another group or start over with her life all over again.
That'd actually be kind of sad, but a good
that'd be interesting though. Yeah. But I mean, that's the same thing that's already happened before, though. It's quote unquote sad because now we're in that mix. You know what I mean? We weren't with that original party, so we don't. We're seeing it like through memories and whatnot, and through memories of other people. So now we just get to be the group. You know, we're with the group, so to speak. That she's going to leave behind again, right? Yeah. You know, so now in a sense, instead of us being with Frieren, leaving somebody else behind, now it would turn into we're with the group that Frieren is leaving behind. Right. Yeah. You know? So that definitely is kind of sad. It's not tragic necessarily, but there is a sadness to it.
That's true.
That'd be a very interesting way to end it. But I mean, I'm just hoping. I'm hoping they bring back the priest. They bring back the other elf. I can't think of his name right now.
The guy they met in the shack or in the cabin. Yeah.
Then they found a statue of him later too, like an ancient statue, and it's like
so he was like a hero in some other era of this world.
Exactly, some other era.
So what's that story? Yeah. There was one thing that I wrote in here. Well, I'm trying to remember because in episode 14, this is one nitpick that I wrote. And I just wrote the merchant just happened to have the spell for finding lost accessories because she lost the ring.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's true. That's true. That is a very good nitpick. So,
I mean, it's kind of a nitpick, but I think there is a lot of plot convenience in the story like that where it's just like, oh, well, I lost my ring. Oh, hey. I'll give you this. I happen to have the
that helps you find lost things.
Yeah, lost accessories.
Yeah.
So
I would say just leave that all together. You never lost the ring, so you don't have to happen to come across a spell that happens to do the one thing that you happen to need. Yeah. Kind of thing. Yeah. I think there might.
There are a couple.
There are a couple of things like that, but again, that's kind of like I don't know. It's typical kind of shonen. Kind of stuff.
I guess you kind of look past those things when the rest of it's very good.
Yeah.
But I did notice there were some kind of convenient things that happened where it's
which I'm not a big fan of. Yeah. Kind of thing.
This happened because we needed it to happen kind of thing. Yeah.
I mean, just why do it all together? Because the ring was important to her, but I mean, you could have told a story about the ring being important to her without her losing it and, having to find it and blah, blah, blah. I mean, if you could do something like that, have them go on the way that you would typically do it is have them go on a quest to find a spell that does that. And then they go back and they look for it. You know what I mean? Once you've earned it.
So that could have been a great, you could even end the season with that. Like, oh, I got you the spell to find a lost accessory.
Yeah. And then it's like, what? It's just a ring, right? But it's important to me. And then Fern would have accepted that, oh, it's important because you got it from, one of your mates. And then, And then Stark would have been like, "Oh, you got it from my master."
Right.
So,
Yeah.
well, yeah, I'm down. Let's go find a spell that does that.
Exactly.
That could have been like a whole few episodes right there.
That could have wrapped up pretty nicely. Yeah, exactly. So anyway, but just a couple nitpicks, of things like that. But overall, I'm cool with the show, I think.
Right. Yeah.
Anything else you want to add to it?
I don't think so.
No. So where are we sitting at the rating then?
I'm gonna be generous. I'm gonna give it like a 90. I was leaning somewhere in the high 80s.
Yeah.
But I might give it a 90. I think it's an easy watch. Anybody can watch it.
Yeah.
You can watch this, kids, parents together. You can watch it. I think everyone could get something out of it.
Yeah.
It might get a little slow for, smaller kids, but if you got kids that are like 12 and up kind of thing, it's probably good. You could watch this with them if they're into anime, I would say.
Yeah, for sure. I think I was sitting around probably the same, because I think of the animes that we've covered, these modern animes, this was, it's hard to say if it's my favorite, but one of the ones I enjoyed the most. I actually enjoyed the journey for this one the most of all the things we watched. I mean, Jujutsu Kaisen was great, but CJ had explained to me why it was great. So I don't need anyone to tell me why this is amazing, because I feel it when I watch the show, So I think with that said, even though it doesn't do anything like crazy groundbreaking or as far as story goes, I think a 90 is fair, because it just felt like a good show. It was able to tap into a lot of things that I think a specific type of genre or show, should, but sometimes can't, what I mean? Yeah. So I think that's, and I think maybe I'm like at a high stream it. Like if we can rate our actual versions, like a high stream it. I wouldn't quite say drop what you're doing.
Right.
But I definitely highly recommend you stream it. Put it in your list and give it a serious watch, because I think this is a show that could tap into a lot of people's emotions and past and that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I was going to throw you under the bus for like saying you gave it a 90 also. I said, don't copy me. Now I'm going to copy you. I'm going to do the same thing. Like I don't think it's one of the things where it's drop what you're doing, but you should have it, on your list of things to watch. You should definitely watch this. If you're looking for an anime to watch, you should, put this on your list, especially if you're looking to watch it with family or whatever the case may be. And I think the show is unique, because I can't think of too many shows that are, at least that I've seen anyway, that are, I guess, nostalgic based, or that's kind of the theme of it. It's about, learning about life, by reminiscing about looking back on the past kind of thing. Most life stories take place in the present. It's about learning about life as you're going through whatever adventure you're going through in the show. At that time. And that is the case with this too, but a big part of the lessons that the main character Frieren learns, we get to see how she learned it when we, get these flashbacks of her past. So the show is very thought-provoking. It's very I can't think of the word I want to use, where it just makes you kind of sit down and think about life a little bit, not in a bad way, not in a depressing or a heavy way, but again, having like elves and magic and monsters along the way, that just makes it more fun. It's that spoonful of sugar that helps the medicine go down. So there's a very deep and thought-provoking theme to it, but they present it in a fun and somewhat lighthearted manner. So
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, very good.
Well said, Mark.
Thanks, man.
Very well said.
Every once in a while.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, I guess that's what we're going to talk on Frieren then.
That's it. That's
we definitely recommend it. Please check it out. Let us know what you guys think about it. It just wrapped up about a week ago, I think. Yeah. I think it's I'm sure it's going to get another season, because it's got to wrap up at some point, I think. Yeah. But I
think the manga is complete, I'm pretty sure.
So hopefully we get that second season at some point.
Right.
But yeah. Cool. So before we wrap up, what are we into this week?
I'll fire it off really quick. I saw on Netflix they have a series. I read some of the manga, and I'm rewatching the anime called GTO, Great Teacher Onizuka.
Great Teacher Onizuka.
Great Teacher Onizuka. Check that out. I was reading the manga and I thought, this guy is a degenerate.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing right now? He became a teacher so he can hit on high school girls.
Yeah.
Japan's got a whole different thing going on over there. Yeah. But he turns into more than that. Mm-hmm. So it's a great show. It's a great show. The manga was great. Mm-hmm. So I was rewatching some of that, which was cool.
I know I read some of the manga. I liked it a lot. Yeah. I was young when I read it. That was probably in junior high, maybe. Yeah. Probably junior high. Mm-hmm. But I never saw the anime. Was the anime? Is it good too? Or the
anime? I think it sticks pretty. I mean, typically they all stick pretty close to the manga. The artwork is very dated. So when you watch it, you'll know it's like, oh man, this was made a long time ago, kind of thing. But it sticks very close to the manga, which is cool. Yeah. And if you're able to look past that, it's still a very entertaining show. Okay. It's still a good show. So nice. I would recommend checking that out.
Sweet.
Man, I feel like there was something else I was going to say that I watched, but I can't think of it right now. I'm watching, still watching The Base. I'm still watching, I'm up to date on Invincible.
Nice.
I think I started watching a little bit of Yu Yu Hakusho was on. I was watching some of that. So I feel like there's something else I can't think of right now. But anyways, what about you?
I'm on a bit of an Adam Scott kick right now.
Oh, cool.
Big fan of Adam Scott, man. Yeah. I think he's like becoming one of my favorite actors now. He's like kind of jumping into that because I think he has a lot of range. He plays a lot of different characters. I noticed. Yeah. But I've never seen someone who can play a complete dick asshole and also be a nerd, a complete nerd, or that kind of character. He has a lot of range, I think, as an actor. And I think, I feel like I'd like play characters like that for me.
Okay.
I like to go those kind of sides. That's who I am. I'm an asshole sometimes, but I'm also a big freaking geek. So So with that, I watched because Severance. I watched Severance. And that's still my favorite show over these last 2 years.
Yeah, it's a really good show.
Man, it's the best show I've seen in years, and it's for sure my favorite show these last couple of years. So I went back and watched. I was trying to watch like his catalog of movies and shows. So I watched Step Brothers recently.
Step Brothers, yeah.
That's the first time I remember seeing him was in Step Brothers.
Okay.
He's a perfect asshole. Yeah, man, perfect asshole in that. But man, I remember thinking Step Brothers was a little funnier the first time I saw it.
Oh, sure.
But then I think I saw it late though too. I did see it. I didn't see it in theaters. I saw it kind of later after everybody had already seen it. Yeah. So even then, I don't think I like loved it. Now that I watched it again like yesterday, and I was like, this isn't really as funny as I remember it being. I think Adam Scott was great in it, and there are some good parts in it. But I think I'm just maybe not a huge Will Ferrell fan. Okay. When I actually like think about like the track record of the movies that I think are hilarious. I think it comes down to he's kind of like the modern slapstick. I think to me, I think he evolved from slapstick comedy. He's like the next, or was the next generation of that. I'm not a slapstick fan. He's just kind of like loud and obnoxious. And that's not really, I think, my sense of humor. Yeah, and there are a lot of funny parts in the movie, but like nothing that would really have me like dying laughing like I thought I would be. So, so unfortunately, Step Brothers come back around. Yeah, wasn't great for me.
I get it. Yeah. I mean, I like Step Brothers. I think, I can watch it just because I know it's going to be something completely dumb and off the wall. And I think C. Thomas Howell, or is that a different actor? I think it's the other Step Brother.
Oh, no, it's John C. Reilly.
Okay, John. I knew there's a C in there.
There's a C with a C. Yeah,
there's a C in there somewhere. Yeah. I know that's a different guy. I'm like that doesn't sound right. Yeah. But I like him. I think he's a good counterpart to Will Ferrell and the stuff they've done. Yeah, he's one of those actors that I've seen him. If you've seen what is it? Oh, man, I can't think of the movie right now. Any other time I would have known it. That he did with he did it like it was a while ago. It was I don't know, it was like he was a porn star. What was that with Damn. Wow, I'm blanking on everybody's name right now. With what's his name? Mark. I want to say Mark Goldberg. That doesn't sound right at all, though. What Boogie Nights? Boogie Nights?
Oh,
I think Boogie
was
Nights.
he in Boogie Nights?
He was in Boogie Nights, playing a serious role.
Oh,
you know.
yeah.
So I mean, he was a lot younger. He was like fit. So imagine
really?
that. So it was a while ago, but yeah, I like him in general.
Yeah.
But okay, I see what you're coming. Okay, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah. Also, I caught on Invincible as well, and then I watched the first episode of Shogun. And
right
man, that show is great so far.
Right on.
That first episode hooked the shit out of me, man. Like, it was good. I was like, yeah. I was like, I need more TV like this. Like, where's the TV at like this? You know?
Yeah.
It's really good so far. So I think I'm gonna try to. We're gonna cover it, I think, in a few weeks. I'm gonna try to go back, or at least do the audiobook for this. I know I read the book in high school.
Okay.
But I don't remember much about it, so I'm gonna try to see if I can do the audiobook. It's free on Spotify if you're a Spotify member.
Oh, is it nice?
Or if you pay for the Spotify.
I pay for nothing.
Okay,
so.
then you can't get it.
Then you can't get it. It's not for you.
So well. But yeah, so other than that, I think that's it.
Let me throw out really quick. Speaking of books read in high school, this is a book that I did not read in high school. Animal Farm.
Oh, yeah.
I happened to watch I think it was a 1999 movie of Animal Farm. I knew they had made one with with live animals or whatever.
Okay.
It's interesting. I'm not going to get into politics. It's interesting how relevant and kind of sad how relevant that story is, considering it was written in the 50s. Yeah. How relevant that is to today. To this world.
Interesting.
You know what I mean? It's cool to see that someone made something so poignant and something so groundbreaking back then. But it's sad to think that was made so long ago just to kind of call stuff out. And it's something that's still relevant in today's world. It's
saying the same shit.
It's very disappointing for, when you look at people. You know what I mean? It's interesting.
Yeah, I'm disappointed in us. In
you.
No, not our listeners. You guys are great.
No, don't listen to him. Don't listen to him. I think I made a comment on.
Write it down, man.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I know. I did. I know. I made a comment on one of the things. One of the posts that someone said, like, whatever Trent said. There's one important thing that you need to all take into account. Trent does not speak for me. So he was. I don't know what the thread was. I can't remember right now, but I said, remember this, everybody. That was Trent that said that, not me. Not me.
I do typically write, like, whenever I say I put in parentheses Trent when I respond.
Yeah. I caught that.
I usually do. I feel like I typically do. And that's something that I know we've agreed on the show. If it's something that only so like I talk shit about Rogue One, I make sure I put my name in there. Like,
I think it was something Rogue One or Andor related. Or both of them. I was like, that's him. That's him.
Yeah. No,
it was something Disney Star Wars related.
Yeah. No, I think we got a lot of response on that Disney Star Wars post, man.
Yeah.
Respond to it. And I was like, okay.
I was reading it too. I was like, geez Louise, there's a lot going on here.
Yeah. So I have to clarify to each person. I say the same thing to everybody. I just respond. Just you look at this response. You look at this response. Same response.
And I was like, I don't know him.
Yeah. I agree with that. Yeah. So, but yeah.
But anyways.
Yeah. Anyway. Oh, I did talk to Henry, by the way, today. He
nice.
called today. I think he was he called me to ask about Comic-Con Revolution. I don't know anything about it, so he might give you a call to ask some questions about it, see if it's worth covering. But he said he wants to get together, man. He wants to have us on the show again.
Nice.
He said he gave us a happy anniversary, basically.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
But yeah, it's good to hear.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll check out. I know Comic-Con Revolution is coming up in Ontario, California. I will. I'll check that out. Maybe we can get in there again. Or at least I don't have a problem getting in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, if we can get press passes to get in there,
yeah, that'd be cool too.
Come on,
who knows? Yeah,
come on.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna go in there and walk around.
Get us in for free. Come on.
Yeah, exactly.
Using our power.
You didn't hear that here. We actually do work in this convention. So.
Yeah. We actually work.
Yeah. Anyway, is that it?
That's it.
We did. Let's call it, man. I'm getting tired. I'm sleepy. But yeah. Next week we are going to be covering Invincible.
Yeah, it's wrapping up.
Wrapping
up. I know Invincible has a lot I fans out there, so watch it and tell us what you think.
I'm not gonna say anything about it because I do have
your opinions on it.
Yeah, good and bad. I think I have. I think I have a lot of good things to say about it.
That's cool.
Some of the things I got to talk about, but yeah, I'm excited to talk about that next week.
Nice.
Visible season 2. And yeah, I'm sure there are a lot of fans out there of it, like you were saying. So get on that, finish it, watch it, and come back here next week.
And be ready. Be ready.
But otherwise, right? Yeah. But otherwise, from here, everybody here at Geek on the Street, thank you guys for listening to us. Thanks for tuning in. You guys are the best. We'll be here next week. My name is Trent,
And my name is Mark.
and this is
Geek Off the Street.
I was like running that last part real fast. I was like, if I mess up, it's gonna be very obvious.
No one will notice. We're that good. We're that good.
Yeah, exactly.